Now, here in Hong Kong, China marked a major milestone as it seeks to position itself as a global player in the commercial aviation game. Now, China's homegrown passenger aircraft, the C919, made its first voyage outside of mainland China on Tuesday, landing at Hong Kong International Airport. Now, the jet is built by the state-run Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China, and it's designed to compete with Boeing and its 737 and the Airbus A320. Now, the C919 is scheduled for a flight demonstration above Hong Kong tomorrow before returning to Shanghai on Sunday. Now, let's go live now to Perth, Australia, where I'm joined by Geoffrey Thomas. He's the editor-in-chief and managing director of AirlineRatings.com. Geoffrey, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. China has big dreams. China has big ambitions to rival Boeing and Airbus in the single-aisle jet space, but can it succeed?
Well, it's a very good question. Yes, indeed. Over the next 20 years, it is forecast that China is going to need 8,000 single-aisle aircraft. It's almost the largest domestic airline market in the world. And the Chinese, of course, naturally want a bigger slice or a big slice of that market. They're looking for 30% of that market, about 1,500 to 2,000 aircraft over the next 20 years. But they've got some challenges. They've got to prove the reliability of the aircraft. They've got to prove the after-sales support in spares and engineering support, because that's two tremendous strengths of Airbus and Boeing, is the after-sales support for their aircraft.
Yeah, it does enjoy a huge domestic market. We know that already Comac has had more than 1,000 orders for the C919. It's safe to assume those are for, domestic buyers. But what is it going to take, given those challenges that you just laid out, what is it going to take for a foreign buyer to purchase this Chinese homegrown jet?
Yes, well, a lot of those buyers, by the way, in China, there's about 24 of them, 16 of them are leasing companies. So we don't have a lot of clarity on exactly how many are going to end up with what airline. But as far as foreign buyers are concerned, and that's going to be the cherry they really want, it's going to require quite a few years of successful service in China, proven reliability, proven after-sales support, proven spares support, before any major foreign airline will purchase the aircraft. They have sold some to Gallop Air in Burma, and so there is some slight traction, but it's going to take a lot more time before foreign airlines are going to queue up to buy it.
Yeah, short-term China's C919, as you just mentioned, it needs to prove its reliability to entice foreign buyers. It also needs to prove it has some sort of after-sales infrastructure in terms of engineering, what have you. But what are the long-term prospects for C919, especially given aviation trends as you see it globally as well as inside the China market?
Look, I believe the long-term prospects are very good. I mean, China now is a world-class producer of a raft of products, whether it's componentry or the finished product. The quality there really is very, very good. So the long-term prospect for China to emerge as a major player, I think, is very, very good indeed. They are planning to have a larger version of this aircraft with 50 more seats, taking the capacity up to 240. They're also planning a smaller version of the aircraft, more like 120 seats. So they are planning more versions. And I think as time goes by, more and more people are going to be very impressed with the aircraft, much the same way as we are with the car industry. The Chinese car makers are making big inroads around the world as people sort of, try it and like it, and word of mouth gets around, and people are really happy with the quality of the product.
And Jeff, are you impressed by this aircraft from the specs that have been circulating, what you've been able to see so far as it stands right now? How does a C919 stack up against its rival planes by Boeing and Airbus?
Look, it stacks up very well. It has a slightly lower payload, a few thousand kilos. It has a shorter range, but there again, for most domestic applications, the range is fine, and it's also priced a little cheaper as well. So it stacks up very well. The big issue, as I mentioned earlier, is after-sales support and spares. If the Chinese can to really get behind this aircraft and prove to potential buyers that they are absolutely committed to it with support, then I think it's going to certainly get into the Boeing and the Airbus market for the A320 and the 737 and start to eat away at it.
Interesting. Geoffrey Thomas, joining us live from Perth. Always appreciate your insight, sir. Thank you very much and take care.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.